How Lamborghini built their billion-dollar empire. Ferruccio's early days. Ferruccio Lamborghini's story seems almost like a fairy tale, the likes of magic beans, giant beanstalks, and multi-million-dollar exotic car empires. Born on the 28th of April, 1916, right in the middle of the First World War, is the founder of the stylish high-performance cars. Naming them after himself, Ferruccio Lamborghini was born in Emilia-Romagna. His obsession with machines prompted Ferruccio to shun traditional work as a farmer and take up employment at a factory. With his passion for car engines, his outstanding repair skills, and his passion for mechanics, Ferruccio was able to imprint his name in the world of sports cars and become a standard, earning a spot in the history of automobiles. His skills and knowledge from the factory built Ferruccio's confidence that he started his own workshop in 1935. Ferruccio's Tractor Company. When the Second World War came around in 1940, Ferruccio, like every other able-bodied man, was drafted into the war and was assigned as a mechanic. When his talent for mechanics was noticed, Ferruccio was stationed on the island of Rhodes. Compared to the mainland, the island of Rhodes was rather peaceful, perhaps due to its positioning. Ferruccio's job was to fix the broken engines, which he was able to complete effortlessly and winning the respect and admiration of his colleagues. This taught him a great deal in scraping and repurposing old machinery. In 1946, Ferruccio was released from the war and allowed to continue his civilian life. His talents, which were refined and enhanced during the war, won him a huge number of clients when he opened his small shop. When the war was over, Ferruccio relied on his skills he had improved while in the Air Force, and he set up a small car and motorcycle repair shop in northern Italy. Ferruccio planned to build his workshop, but the experience he gained working on the war machinery prompted him in another direction. That is where he got his first big business idea. He thought to buy excess military machines and convert them to tractors. Tractors were in great demand at that time in the agricultural area where he lived. Agriculture was the nation's idea of healing from the wounds of war. He then founded his first company in 1947, with only 3 mechanics and 2,000 lira as its initial capital. Ferruccio started working on the vast stockpile of decommissioned war machinery to create affordable tractors. His business later expanded, with Ferruccio setting a tractor manufacturing facility in response to Italy's great demand of farming implements. When he first started out, from the abandoned military vehicles, war waste and parts taken from derelict vehicles, wreckage, basically every piece of metal that he could have saved and used for production, Ferruccio and his team were only able to build, on average, 1 tractor a month. In 1948, he released the first wave of Carioca tractors, which all of Italy loved. That was the first of his many successes. With the positive reviews and the clamor for more, Ferruccio was able to expand his business. This business very soon became extremely successful, allowing Lamborghini in 1960 to expand his business to manufacturing oil-burning heaters and air conditioning units for buildings, which he traveled across the Atlantic to the United States to first acquire. Automobili Lamborghini. Success after success, Ferruccio became so rich that in 1961, he decided to indulge himself in the luxury sport cars he loved so much. Among his car collection are 2 Alfa Romeos, 2 Maseratis, a Jaguar, a Mercedes, and several Ferraris, which was one of the best luxury cars at that time. As an experienced mechanic himself, Ferruccio found the Ferraris to be needlessly noisy with bare-bone interior. Fed up with the continuous bills received from his mechanic concerning his Ferrari sports car, Ferruccio decided to complain to Enzo personally about the state of his car. He then visited Enzo Ferrari personally to complain about the problems he had been experiencing with the clutch of his Ferrari 250 GT. Enzo Ferrari dismissed Ferruccio's complaints and said that the problem was with the driver and not the car. Without Ferrari's curt response, there might never be any of the Lamborghini supercars available today. Enzo Ferrari, who was well known for his lack of poise and diplomacy, then advised Ferruccio to focus on his tractors and leave the supercars to him, taking the words of Enzo Ferrari to not just be insulting, but also an open challenge. Ferruccio started working on building his own sports car company. With the millions of lira Ferruccio had amassed, first from his successful tractor company, Ferruccio then built his automobile company. It was rumored that Enzo Ferrari never really cared much for sports cars, but racing cars only. Do you think that excuses the poor mechanical designs in the Ferrari sports cars? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Along with the top engineer, Ferruccio stole from Ferrari, Giotto Bizzarini. He also hired Franco Scaglione and Gianpaolo Dallara. Those three were tasked with building a powerful and luxurious GT that would reach 150 miles per hour on the Stradale del Sole, the famous Italian motorway that connects Milan and Naples. In 1963, Ferruccio officially established his sports car company, which he named Automobili Lamborghini SPA. The company was based in Sant'Agata Bolognese in Italy. The car plant covered 90,000 square feet area and took only 8 months to erect. In the same year the company was founded, Ferruccio debuted his first car, the Lamborghini 350 GTV. With its Scaglione touring body, the Lamborghini 350 GTV prototype was first revealed at the Turin Auto Show. The Lamborghini GTV was a two-seater coupe with a V12 engine with 320 horsepower. This was a big deal because back then, the bigger the horsepower, the better. The mass ordering and general acceptance of the car led to its mass production, and it was soon followed by the 450 GT and the four-seater 450 2+2. With the success from the three cars, Ferruccio had enough funds to develop what was the most famous Lamborghini model before the release of the Countach in 1973, the Miura. A very egotistical car, the Miura had features unlike any other car. It was a wholly unique car from the front to the rear bumper and from top to bottom over a beautifully designed Marcello Gandiani body. The Miura sported a transversal mid-mounted engine and looked like a cross between a racing car and a mechanical bull. The Countach was the next successor in the Lamborghini dynasty. The spaceship-shaped car premiered at the Geneva Auto Show in 1975. It was an outrageously appealing car with displays of drawing board brutality. The futuristic look was further accentuated by its famous telephone dial rims, 4-liter engine bristling with bull-inspired power, and swing-up doors. The car, as popular as it was, did have its number of flaws: the interior noise levels as well as the complete lack of rear view. The Countach could only be parked by hanging half outside the car and steering while looking back. Lamborghini's logo. Ferruccio's zodiac sign was a bull, and that became the company's logo. A lot of the cars that were subsequently released by Automobili Lamborghini also had names that were related to bulls and bullfighting. A classic example is the Miura, named after Don Eduardo Miura, a breeder of fighting bull. The Miura is a mid-engine sports car which was released in the mid-1960s and gained Ferruccio and his Lamborghini Automobile Company international recognition among the car enthusiasts. The car also earned him his reputation for cutting-edge design and prestige. Other bull-related names that the Lamborghini supersport cars were named after include Islero, named after the bull that killed the famous matador, Manolete, and Espada, the name of a sword or a weapon of a matador. Ferruccio Lamborghini once said that he did not consider himself to be an inventor as he never invented anything. All he did was improve upon the works of others. One common example is the improvement of the 12-cylinder motor of Ferrari, which he improved with the twin cams from the 4-cylinder Alfa Romeo. The sale of Automobili Lamborghini. The early 1970s came with problems for Ferruccio's tractor company, so much so that he was forced to sell his interest in Automobili Lamborghini. In spite of his fame, prestige, and various successes, Ferruccio had financial troubles which first began by the major setback of his tractor business in 1974. Automobili Lamborghini changed hands a number of times before it was eventually purchased by the German automaker Volkswagen in the late 1990s. The setback in Ferruccio's tractor business led to the sale of his controlling interest in the Automobili Lamborghini SPA to the wealthy Swiss industrialist George Henry Rossetti. Due to the oil crisis of the 1970s, Ferruccio had to sell the remaining interest to another Swiss businessman, René Lehmer. Soon after the change of ownership, Ferruccio was declared bankrupt. The racing team owner, Walter Wolf, performed a series of tests and improved on the Countach, releasing the improved version, the 400s. Wolf planned to buy the factory, but was denied by the Italian courts, who gave it to Giorgio Moroni instead in 1980. Moroni offered to sell it back to Ferruccio for a small amount of money, but Ferruccio surprisingly refused. At his refusal, the automobile company was once again under Swiss tutelage controlled by the Mimran brothers. Under their management, the development of the Countach resumed with the LP500S and Quattro Valvole released later. The Mimran brothers took full control of the company in 1984 and produced a number of new models like the gas-guzzling LM004 and the 002 off-roaders and the exotic Yalpa. In 1987, the Mimran brothers sold the company to Chrysler Corp, who sold it to a group of 3 Far Eastern companies in 1994. After a number of complications, the company made its way to Volkswagen in 1998, who brought in Audi designers, which resuscitated the company with a series of newer models. With Audi's help, Lamborghini was able to make a comeback to the automobile world with Murcielago. Several other models, like the Gallardo and the Reventon, soon followed. Volkswagen had Automobili Lamborghini continue with its creation of high-performance cars, and several other cars were built, including the Gallardo and the Murcielago, which was capable of going at over 200 miles per hour. Ferruccio Lamborghini then decided to enjoy his decades on Earth by retiring to his vineyard. On the 20th of February, 1993, Ferruccio Lamborghini died at the age of 76. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is how the Lamborghini company made its fortune. If you liked this video, please click on the like button. You should also go ahead and subscribe to enjoy many more of these videos. And always remember, stay classy.